som. Olá, meus gringos! Olá, meus gringos! Espero que estejam todos muito bem. E hoje vamos falar um tanto mais sobre intercâmbio, que é aquele tema que a gente gosta pouco, né? Que a gente gosta pouco. Pois é. E hoje temos uma convidada especialíssima, nossa queridíssima Alice de PEPPO, nossa italiana, que já morou pelo mundo, já rodou o mundo e tá aqui comigo hoje na Noruega, em Lofoten. Nós somos flatmates, a gente mora no mesmo apartamento, né, na mesma casa que a gente chama de palácio, The Palace. E é uma casa super grande, e a gente compartilha com bastante gente. Estamos na cozinha, como vocês podem ver. Então o fundo tá meio engraçado, bagunçado, mas é aquela coisa, né? Quem sabe faz ao vivo, então bora lá fazer ao vivo. Hey, Alice, thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to have her here. Então agora eu vou falar em inglês, depois eu dou uma traduzida para vocês, a gente coloca ali, beleza? Let it go.
I got something.
There you go. A gente está falando em português, inglês, espanhol, italiano, mistura tudo mais um pouco. Perfect. Alice, so let's go. Tell me, you have been traveling to so many places, and I also know that you had some different exchange programs, experiences all over. So tell us more about it.
Yeah, so my first proper exchange experience was in London, and it was kind of like a university experience. So I should have been there 3 years, but I actually was there just 1 year, my first year. And then this one is, of course, shorter. It was just, I came here 20 days or something. And in September, just because I love this place so much. And so I really wanted to come back to Norway, and to Lofoten in particular. And I found this. I actually came here with my friend, but we were meant to get here in July, August.
In July, all right.
Yeah.
That's like a big difference.
Yes, but actually they had no place left. And then they wrote back.
Right.
And they told us...
They were very busy, yes, back then. Yeah. We had a full house.
I mean, maybe it's better right now. Some sites are better right now. So they just decided to let us be here in September. Okay. So here we are.
Got it. And I'm so glad you made it.
I'm glad too.
There you go. So basically, in between you and your friend, who had the idea to come? It was you to actually do a work exchange in Norway. How was the decision? I mean, did you have any other country that you had in mind? You're like, no, we are going there straight away.
I mean, we actually made our request to a lot of countries, but my main goal was to come here to experience Norway again, but in a different way, And I miss this place so much. I was tired of my daily life, in Rome, and just wanted something different.
To have a break.
Yes, to experience something really different and come back to my place to see how it would affect me.
Right.
And so, I asked him several times to come here, and then we made our requests.
That was a chosen one. Amazing. And was there like any main reason, in a sense of, okay, so we want to improve some professional skill? Like some people, they use this as a professional way of doing apprenticeships or like start up for their career or something. Like, was there any idea regarding that, or not really? Just more of like getting out of a crazy reality out there and like you experience more life?
I mean, it was more of a like personal growth, I would say. Just to get out of my comfort zone, being independent, and like again, because I hadn't been in a while, and being independent again, and like experience the same place. I experience it in my comfort zone, but not in my comfort zone.
Right.
And also, of course, I thought the job would fit me. I know, like the restaurant, public relations, just being with the customers and all of that. I really like.
Right, that's
So
amazing.
yeah.
So it's like you chose the program based as well on your skills, like what you
Yes.
like, what's your likings as well.
And
so
of course, the English part, like the language part, was obviously important.
amazing, yeah. That was like one of the next questions. So like among the abilities that you can practice whenever you're doing a work exchange, like what abilities do you believe someone has to have in order to do a work exchange, and what other abilities you gain doing a work exchange or both ways?
Well, for sure, adaptability, I would say.
You
To
have
adapt.
to have.
Yeah, you have to have. You have to like begin with the right mindset. And then, yeah, just being open to whatever comes. Of course, you're gonna get even more adaptable when you're there. And then, yeah, just be very open to meet people, do the most of every experience. Every person you meet can open doors to you, just to new perspectives and everything you do. Basically,
and open doors to different countries, which is even
Yes.
better.
Yes.
Amazing.
Making new friends, just being very open. And I would say, yeah, the language, like you should be willing to, learn more and just practice more the language you're gonna speak, which in our case was English. And yeah, you're definitely gonna be better at that. I mean, I learned a lot when it comes to English. I really talked a lot.
You could practice as much as.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And do you think like any of those abilities can help you in the future, like career wise and
Yeah.
Professionally speaking?
Definitely, because especially if you don't have proper work experience in that field, you get to understand how that works maybe, and just in the future you're gonna know the pros and cons and just how to move in that field. Yeah, just how it works. And also, yeah, adaptability can always be useful.
Yes.
And yeah, the language, of course, is the main thing. One of the main things, I would say, just to be open with everyone and know how to talk to anyone and just make new connections.
Amazing. And like, do you think like nowadays people are looking forward to do more and more of those kind of programs to learn a language, for example, like learn English or any Spanish or any other language that would be like more effective as well than just sitting at school learning a new course? Like, what do you think like it's happening around your crowds, your friends?
Yeah.
Like, as can you see like this going to this direction, like a work exchange program, for example, going to this direction? Or
Definitely, yes, because like I would say, especially if you're already kind of good at English, you already know the grammar, the basics, like then you have to get out there and just practice and speak the language.
And here you do have to speak.
Yes, which it helps a lot in, I would say, different aspects than the grammar sitting thing. Because if you sit at and like have a lesson, you can learn some stuff, but then when you're out in the place, you learn how to like practice it concretely.
Yeah.
And also, yes, a lot of my friends do this. Actually, me and a friend had the same idea at the same time. She went to Frankfurt. Yeah.
Amazing.
And
to learn English as
yes.
To practice English as well.
Yeah.
Look how crazy. Learn like English in in her case in a Nordic country, and her friend in Germany. So it's just like not necessarily learning in the UK or America or Canada.
Yes. Also because maybe it's easier even for her when you're like, she's A1 at English. She's not so good, but she wanted to, for that reason, she wanted to go somewhere that was not like the UK or something like that. Just because people are all around the world, come from all around the world. There's not like a strict language filtered. Like anyone is there to learn, to enjoy their time. So everyone has different levels of English. It's not that.
And they
like,
respect like once you cannot like fulfill
yes,
your whole language skills. Amazing, amazing. Yeah, that's very exciting because like this is something that in Brazil people get stuck in between doing a course, or Latin America in general would say like, oh yeah, I want to like buy a course overseas. So like for instance, when you did your exchange program in the UK, like in London, like I mean, to start an university for it, you had to do a proficiency test, I'm assuming.
Yes.
You have to know English, but some people they just rather just pay a course and study instead of doing work exchange, and they don't practice as much as they wish. I feel, and comparing this kind of program like work exchange to like an exchange program as you did, like what would be like the weight when it comes to languages and like professional wise, like just put it in a balance.
I feel like in London in particular, in the UK in particular, the accent is very like strict. Like the accent is of course British. Yes. And so you can get scared in a way if you don't speak like amazing English, especially speaking, because like of course people are native there, so they all speak, and especially when they speak like between themselves, they're really like the accent is really rough to get. So you can get scared because you're maybe the only one not speaking perfectly and blah blah blah. While here it's more like I didn't have this fear coming here because like it wasn't about just the language, but I knew I would practice it a lot still. So maybe for the language, I would. It sounds weird maybe, but I would prefer this experience.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
Yeah, and work-wise, it was very different because I was in a music university, you know. So, and here it's more about the work itself. There it was more about studying and that part.
Studying and learning, amazing. Yeah, they're completely different, like exchange programs, experiences, but each of them with this particular field. Okay, good. And well, we have spoken already about some of the things that people. I'm like I have like this list of questions to go through because I do not want to miss out any from her. And oh yeah, some people back home they do believe that like sometimes you can be wasting your time doing like an exchange program in a sense of they want to finish their university straight away, they want to start a career, and then they're afraid of if they take an exchange program in this between, they'll lose this timing where like they could be working and gaining career learnings instead of. Well, how does it go for you?
I think it depends on your priorities, because if like mainly growing as a person and traveling, experiences new realities and new places, just new experiences is a goal of yours, you're not wasting your time at all. Especially if you go in a place you love and you want to experience, but not from a like touristy kind of perspective. You're not wasting your time at all. Of course there are gonna be ups and downs, but that's in every experience you can live. Right. So no, I wouldn't say you're ever wasting your time, because you're growing, you're getting to know even yourself from another point of view. And it's just about discovering new places, new things, new experiences. So
amazing. Yeah, so regardless, like you're in the learning process, either studying or not studying, like you're still learning, because as you said, like learning English it's the most effective way to practice.
Yes, exactly. You're not you're still learning while exploring. So, and especially if you're young, I think that's the time to do that,
it's a perfect combination. Amazing. And do you think this kind of program as well, like you can learn fields, like for instance you study something, you study, let's say, biology, and then you decide to go to a work exchange that is correlated to biology. Do you think that's gonna help on your career as well? Like how does it go for you?
Definitely, yeah. That would be perfect. Like that's the perfect combination. Also, because of course, it goes on your CV.
Exactly, that's what
Yeah, that's still a work experience at any, 100% work experience, but also you're in another place, you're just, growing and working at the same time, like making new memories, meeting new people. So it's not only about the job when you go on a work exchange, but it's also about the job 100%. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And what is the coolest thing about WA, like work exchange? Like we were just saying about the travel part, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Like, are there more cool sides that you feel?
One cool aspect, which also has ups and downs for me, but one cool aspect is that you for sure experience the place in a different way. Like when I came here the first time, I really, without even noticing, but I really experienced it as a tourist. While now you get to know how people that live here experience it all year long. You get stories from people, blah blah blah. So that's really another point of view. Yeah.
Another level of traveling as well. Like you get to know the local life, right?
Yes,
It's like more
exactly.
than just touristic life. Amazing. And talking about the application process, do you think like work exchange is too complicated? Because I bet to do your other exchange program, you had to go through, So do you want to talk a little bit about both? So like,
Yes.
let's go first, like on the university one, like
Okay.
for the application, how crazy that was for you. Because for me, whenever I did my university, my studies in Australia, that was like a long list to go through. Yeah.
Yes.
So how was it with you?
That was very, very long. Also, I did it at a young age. I was just, when I sent the application, I was 18.
Right.
when I went there, I was 19. So I was very young, and it could be tough because like you're just out of high school, you don't know
anything.
You don't know. Yes, you don't know how to leave alone and blah blah blah. Yes. So I was very young, and it was 5 years ago. Wow.
Tell me about it. Mine is like 2009, babe. More than 15.
But still, that was very long process because there are strict deadlines, and you have to respect them. Otherwise, you're out. Like they're very strict. They're very there's a lot of documents, a lot of things to do, a lot of, also you have to get some recommendations from your professors, all of that. So, and of course also the political stuff you have to do, like the documentations and all of that.
And the English as well, like the English proficiency test you have to do.
Yes, you have to have the some certification. And then after the university accepts you, for the UK it's very difficult with Brexit, because for Europeans, because before it was very easy, but then for you I think it's the same, right?
I think the process is as painful as
yeah I mean it's not easy to get there, while this was very, very, very fast compared to that, and very easy, especially with this organization. It was very easy. You just apply, and like of course to check some things they need. And if you you want what they offer and you offer what they need, then it's
there's a match.
Basically done.
Perfect. Yeah, so work exchange is just like this, right? You click apply and go. And do you think like it's getting even though it's easy process, which for me is just like it took me 15 days to be here, so it's just like a matter of application and that's it. But do you feel like it might maybe get harder because it's getting more popular and more people are trying to sign up and participate? Or do you think like it's going to be just easy as because more companies as well might join?
Well,
just a guess.
I think maybe there are, if you're if you want to go to a specific place, maybe it will get harder because it will get more known, so for example, if I wanted to come here, but then of course here there are not so many works exchanges, but then if you want to go, I don't know, to London, maybe you will find work
Something.
exchanges, yes, every time you're searching for it, but it depends on the place, I think.
And it depends as well on your likings, because if you're more specific about what you want, because I was very specific. I was like, I want a guest
Exactly.
house or a restaurant or somewhere where
Yes.
I can try to help on marketing other than just pet sitting, house sitting, where I don't do
Yeah.
anything like that. So
If you're very specific with what you want and where you want it, I would suggest like looking a little bit earlier
in advance,
than I
yeah.
did, or
For sure. And talking about your work here, like as a work exchanger, what were like your main responsibilities? What did you have to do while you were working? Because she is also leaving the island pretty soon, likewise me.
yes, very, very, very sad about it.
Yeah. But what were your responsibilities in general?
So here we had a guest house and we had the restaurant, and I mainly worked in the guest house in the first like week, I would say. Then I asked to work in the restaurant because I wanted to experience something else, and just be more also in the public, like with
talking
clients,
to people, and
yeah. And I enjoyed a lot more working in the restaurant. And so mainly cleaning in both the places, and then in the restaurant, serving, of course, and cleaning there too. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I had the same experience, but I guess like I stay much longer at the restaurant, so
Yes.
I got to experience more of, serving clients, being with clients, being helping events and weddings and something and so. But yeah, serving is the biggest part for me. But yeah, and cleaning as well, especially dishes. Oh my gosh, I had so to wash so many dishes.
Yes, prepare yourself.
If you want to do that, it's not easy at all.
It's not for the weak.
No, not for weak people. No, it's kind of like a lot of responsibility too, and like plates are heavy even to carry around. I'm not used to my hands are tiny. I cannot carry more than 2 dishes at the same time. I didn't want to, like they're 3 per.
Yeah, and I also think it depends very much on how your host is, and like how much responsibility you have, because he decides that you have it, so.
Exactly. Yeah, because some work exchange, like they just set you free more than other places. Like whenever I did a work exchange in Mexico, I just had to sit at the reception, but it was good to do whatever I wanted whenever I had no work. Whereas here it's a little bit different. You're always on the go, always on the move. There's our host makes sure we have tasks to do within the hours we agreed. So yeah, cool. And did you like all the activities in general, or you're like, no, I don't want to do this? Oh my goodness. I know the answer, but I wanted to tell you guys, and I'll tell my side as well.
So
she hated. No, joking.
Actually, I had some problems in the guest house because, I'm allergic to dust, and we had some problems where we are living. So then going to the guest house was a bit too much for me to like clean there too and like have dust there too, and it was heavier, I would say, than the normal shift in the guest house, as you told me, because we had very busy days.
Yeah, she got unfortunate in the sense of timing, because like the house has always been, just okayish with number of guests, but the time she got here, full house, was just like, and then I had like a school coming over too, so like a bunch of kids jumping up and down, destroying the whole place.
Yes, it
was intense for her. Thank God I was at the restaurant.
Yes,
I was like,
yes. definitely. I mean, it was I would say heavy work for me. So I just I would also prefer to be serving, to be more in the public scene.
Seeing more
I mean,
people.
yeah. Just engaging with local people,
Mm.
which you can't do, of course, in a guest house, because you're there when people are not there. So
Yes. Yeah, it's not that you are at the reception talking,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
exactly.
Because there's no reception here. In Norway, there's no reception. I don't get it. Like many places.
It's too tiny. The guest house are like
Yeah, they're so tiny. Right. And did you get annoyed at some point? You're like, no, I don't want to do this, but you have to. Yeah, right.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would say that
You can go for it. You
Okay.
can go for it.
I would say that like the organization of the host is very important,
Mhm.
and like how organized they are, and also how mindful they are of your own needs.
Mhm.
So it should be 50-50, you know, like
Right.
it
Yeah.
should be
Okay.
like I need this, I can do this, but like you can make it easier for me, and vice
And
versa.
change. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like some situations as well because like I really wanted to work at the night shifts,
Yeah.
but at some point there was like an experienced girl working there that she didn't want to work with unexperienced people apparently, and she pointed out to me in specific. I have never worked in any restaurant, so although like none of us has ever worked, but
No.
she had some
Problems.
apparently I barely know her, but yeah, I was told not to work at night together with this lady, so it was like very frustrating that I also wanted, you know, from one side that I didn't have, and like all those some of the activities as well, they were very harsh on your skin, like you're washing all the time. My hands, they got like very rough, you know, and nails breaking all the time. It's hard to be a girl here, you know.
Yes.
It's so hard to have like
To be feminine
hair,
here.
to be feminine. So difficult.
Yes.
I agree. So yeah, I had like negatives and positives. And talking about negatives and positives, let's just share a little bit more on those both sides. So for me, like the positive is definitely what you mentioned before, like language exchange and like learning exchange in a sense, because you're learning about someone's culture, and then you know vice versa, sharing
100%.
And then you have like meeting new people. But now I have a house in Rome.
Yes.
She has a house in Brazil and everywhere else.
You have 2 houses in Rome, actually.
I have 2 houses in Rome. Oh my god, that's how fancy I am. There you go. And what about for you, like the positive aspects in general?
Yeah, those ones, of course, and also, well, you also get to travel a lot while you're here, because one important thing is to manage your time. So if you want to do things, you're working, of course.
Yourself.
Yeah, but then you, of course, you have free days, and to plan them is very important, so that you get to also visit places and do stuff you want to do.
Mhm.
So that's a very positive side, and one of the main positive sides. And then on the negative, I would say, for my experience or in general?
In your experience, I would say, yeah.
I would say, well, I didn't get on well with the host. So you really have to be lucky, I think, with the people you meet here.
Mhm.
But I did like get along well with the people I have here. So so that's the most important thing, I would say.
Cool.
And also, well, maybe, of course, if you come to places like this, you have to choose the right time to come here, because you were here in summer, right?
Yes.
And so you have to choose wisely, because if you want to also explore the place, you want to come here in the right time to do all the things you want to do.
Activities. Yeah, for me it was very funny because I didn't research much about it, and I didn't come just to explore. I want to do some work as well as a digital nomad. But then I was like, okay, here I have to travel. But then, like in my head, the summer would last forever, you know,
Yes.
for some random reasons. Like I'm in an island, it's sunny all the time, but no, that's in
Nope.
Brazil, not in Norway.
Yeah.
So I lost some timing in this between, but I did get to travel a lot. Still, I feel I could have traveled even more.
Yeah.
But it's just those calculations to
Yes.
recalculate your route as well. Whenever sometimes you plan to do something and then the weather doesn't help, or you get stuck like I did in Bodo.
Yeah. That's not for the weak either.
yes, you do have to be brave in many aspects, and that's for sure. I did get along with the host, but I also had situations where I was like, okay, this is really weird. Why are we discussing in a way that it's not healthy? So some discussions may have happen whenever you're doing a work exchange, because you're dealing with humans that they're expecting things from you and you expecting things from them, and then and the other at some point sometimes it really doesn't match. But some places it just everything is perfect, but I feel like there's never completely 100% perfect, you know. Even in Mexico there was like I was in a 4-star hotel and we had like silly situations, as we were promised the room would be cleaned by the cleaners, and then they gave us the broom, we're like, you clean, and then you're like, okay, I can do that, but it was said something else, you know. So like whenever deals they are broken here as well, like some deals they were not everything was as expected. So
and that's when adaptability.
So that's when adaptability enters, because definitely you have to have a lot of emotional intelligence as well. I believe to breathe in and out and say, okay, it's temporary. I know it's not going to be forever, which I think is a great aspect of it. Like being a temporary thing. It's not that you're going to work here for 1 year, 2, 3 of your life, right? So, you know, it's a couple of weeks. You stay how long in total here? 3 weeks?
Yes.
3 weeks, and it passes like this. It feels like, it feels like you arrived yesterday, but I feel like I know you for like 1 year. It's when you're so crazy.
You're just all the time together, even like in small places like this, even more. And that's one of the main positive sides. Yeah, the one you just told us about, because like the thing that everything is temporary makes you more willing to like deal with also the negative sides, and the positive sides get more positive. So
amazing. Yes, exactly. Agreed. And routine wise, could you establish any routine for you, or was it very hard to establish because, you know, maybe the schedule wasn't out or something?
Well, it also depends from your host, I would say, the whole routine thing, because like if they're very organized, which they weren't here, you can plan things and like actually have a routine, which I would say I did a little. I had kind of a routine, even if our house was not so organized. But I would say it depends from them, but also you have to make some effort to have a proper routine and like find your
timing.
Yeah.
For me, it was hard to keep up a routine because within 2 months, every day we would get to know our timing the night before. Sometimes very late nights, and then, you know, it's hard to plan beforehand if you don't have like a schedule for the week or for the month. So I do understand their side, but like on our side is actually not as pleasure or efficient when you want to plan and travel and take the ferry, because here as well you have to rely on ferries all the time. It's not something easy that you just, okay, I'm gonna go and sightsee. Like there's not much more to sightsee apart from 3 streets and 2 mountains and the beach. So
you have to take the ferry for everywhere,
for everything. So you really have to plan. Agreed on that. And well, we spoke about it, but is there anything else that was like very challenging for you, or not really? Like I think we have spoken about a lot about it.
It's mainly for me, it was in this particular experience, it was mainly the host and like the host point of view, which of course influenced the accommodation and food, because that's what you get in return. So like for me, mostly the accommodation was there were some problems. Yeah, so just the point of view of people you meet here, I would say.
Right. Yeah. That was actually the next question about how was your living situation. So, like, do you consider like an appropriate place? Because I mean, again, guys. So now we are talking about specific scenarios, okay? Because there's like more than 170,000 experiences all over the world of work exchange within Workpackers and Workaway and other organizations. So, meaning this specific place had one specific house for everybody as a volunteer. Some places you sleep with the host, some places sleep like in the garage, some places you go camping. In this case, we got a fish house. It
Yeah,
used
warehouse,
to be
I would say.
yeah, it was like a fish warehouse. Can you say that, fish warehouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they used to, to keep all the fish here, and whales as well. They used to have all of that fish and whales here. At least it doesn't smell fishy.
No, it doesn't.
But they made like a good job in a sense of creating a space that's, in one hand side, it was like really crazy to see how they changed it all. But on the other hand side, how do you feel as a work exchanger? Yeah.
I mean, I would say that like you should really ask questions before going about your accommodation, and like in detail, if you have certain standards, you have to make sure that if you want certain standards there, you have to make sure that they're respected before coming. Of course, I don't think a perfect place will exist, but like for me, a clean place, a clean place, it's important. Yeah. And also maybe for you came here in summer, so you didn't suffer it as much, but like here, and also your room is actually
but this is right now, because before it was a very cold.
Yeah. Well, some rooms are hot, but some rooms are cold. Very cold. Yeah. And we're in the Arctic, so that's a problem.
That's a very good point.
Yeah. So you have to make sure they're clean, they're like not cold or not too hot, depending on where you're going. Just general standards. Yeah. And
the bathroom is like on the other side of the house.
Yes.
And it's very cold to pass through this corridor. So like you can get a cold on the first day you get here.
Yeah,
right?
my friend. Yeah, it happened to my friend.
There you go. I actually got like a throat infection, but not because of the cold, but because of lack of hygiene.
Yes.
So lack of hygiene is like really something important for me too.
Yeah, also because like in every country they have different standards, of course. And in every particular place they have different standards. And so I would say also, because when you then go to work, you have to go back to a place where you feel comfortable. And if you don't, then you can't work properly. That was what happened to me. So yeah, that's the thing.
The situation. Yeah, for me, I feel like compared to what I was expecting, to be honest, was like something that's okay, fine. But then like on the daily life, you get to see like, yes, you have a giant kitchen, but it's always messy because you have like other people living and not everybody's clean. And then
the electricity.
The electricity. Oh yeah, that's a very important one. The electricity drops like this. And I thought I wouldn't experience this outside Brazil, because this happens very often in Brazil, like very often. And none of the first world countries I've lived in, I had any situation like that. And I don't think here you would also, if not living in a warehouse, because it's not an appropriate house.
Yes,
so
exactly.
If you were living like in the guest house, it would be fine, because nothing has ever happened
proper houses
in a proper house. But here's a makeshift kind of place. So like electricity drops like this. The other day we stayed overnight with all lights and electricity, and we had days that it was like dropping 7 times a day. You cannot cook properly, you cannot do things at the same time. It's insane sometimes, right, to think about it.
You just have to really be open-minded, I would say.
Right. That's a very good one. Yes. So not bullshitting about the place, but sometimes bringing out like what's good to know. That what she said was very important. Like, make questions. So if you have standards,
Yes.
make questions, because I didn't, because I wasn't expecting much.
Yeah.
But like I understand as well that when you're doing such a program, you do expect at least a clean place to live.
Yeah.
This is definitely not.
And maybe you just want to go, like for me, I wanted to be here so bad. And I'm glad I came here, of course, but I wanted to be here so bad that I was just like, no, okay,
Never
it's
mind.
okay. But like, I would have wanted to know,
Yeah, to live in a different condition.
Mm-mm.
And well, did you manage to make like, new friends around and everything?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm gonna miss you. I'm really gonna miss. That was so quick, like 3 weeks. It's insane.
Yeah, I
It's
feel
insane.
like with some people you just click,
Yeah.
and then
yeah.
of course there are some other people with who you don't click, but you just get along, and then
Right.
they're problematic people.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone I've ever known who went on a work exchange managed to get some new friends.
Amazing.
So,
All
yeah.
over the world, which is great. And do you feel it's like a work exchange program can be like a little bit tricky for girls in the sense of how safe you can be, or not really?
I mean, I've heard stories about this
Mhm.
from my friend I was telling you about, yeah, and the one that who went to Frankfurt.
Oh, she had a situation over there?
Yes.
Right.
I mean, you have to choose. I think also this is part of like planning your work exchange like wisely. You have to choose maybe the right place.
Mhm.
If you're like, Norway is super safe, I would say.
Yeah.
And also the right.
But
like-
Frankfurt as well, you would think that would be.
Yeah, but actually, I like I happen to know it depends on the area, and also she was in a hostel,
Right.
with like a lot of people,
Uh-huh.
and so she had some problems there with some guys. Just
Right.
she didn't feel so safe.
Safe, yeah.
And I'm from Italy, so it's not the safest country, but like
we have our standards too.
yeah, but it just depends on the place you go, and also on the kind of accommodation, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As well, like in the country, if you go to the Middle East, you have like rules to follow that are different than the rules that other people are used to.
Yes.
So you can get in trouble easily in case, like as a woman. So I feel, yes, it can be safe, but yes, just wisely.
Yeah, and also you can, as I did, you can tell someone to come with you. You don't have to go alone 100%.
Yeah, as well, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I'm always traveling by myself, but like, because I feel like you're never alone.
Yeah,
you get to know a lot of people. But as your friend had the situation, it's just like, so how to balance it, right? I had a situation in Mexico, but not with the work exchange, but on the street that people were following me,
Yes.
So, but this can happen in Brazil at any point, like anytime, It's not something like, wow, it will never happen in Brazil. Like that would happen every day, actually.
Yeah, I felt 100% safe here, so.
Amazing, yeah. I mean, Lofoten especially. Oh my god,
Yes.
so safe. We leave with the door open, like there's no lock or anything.
No keys.
We have no keys. There's nothing. Funny enough, just in the kitchen, I saw a key today
that we never use.
We never use. I never use. So interesting. And for someone who is scared to go overseas, like, what would be your advice? What would you say to someone like that?
Maybe you can. Some hosts, they let you maybe write or call the people you'll be with before going. My friend had this situation. She just texted a girl that would have been there, like when she was there, and maybe just be prepared to make new friends so that you won't feel alone. Of course you won't, because you all live together, you spend all the time together. So apart from, of course, the time you will be on your own to do the things you specifically want to do in that country, but you can always ask people out, to do things with you. So for me, it wasn't so. I mean, here it wasn't a problem, but in London it was more of a problem, actually.
How was it?
I feel like bigger places are more of a problem because you feel more lonely. Of course, here everything is, I mean, we're here, we can go anywhere so far, so we'll just live together, and that's fine, that's perfect. But then when you're in bigger places like London, or I don't know, New York, or I don't know, just cities like this, you can get a little bit lonely. So yeah, engage 100% in meeting people and just making new friends. That's the key.
Amazing. And talking about cash now, do you think like money can be a limitation for someone doing such a program, or not really?
I mean, it depends on what you're getting, I think, because for us, it was the accommodation and the food. And I mean, of course, we bought something. So you have to consider you probably will buy something, because like, even if they offer you food, you have your own way of eating, and people eat differently around the globe. But yeah, I would suggest choosing the right program, just the one that really suits your like economic situation.
Right. Amazing. Yeah. As well, like I feel like among all exchange programs, this is the cheapest one.
Yes.
Right.
It was not expensive. No.
Yeah. If you don't have like this, if you're not picky about food or anything like that, like I'm very picky in many aspects, but I was trying my best to not shop, to save as much as I could. So it depends on how you put it over. But definitely, I feel among all the experiences, this is the cheapest that you can get, right? Compared to the to university. If you're not
sure. 100%. Yes.
Unless you get like a scholarship, which is a completely different game as well.
But also, I think that maybe especially in the first weeks or months you're there, you want to go out a little to
to experience.
Yes, so be prepared to save some money for that, because then if you're in a place and you can't have any experience, it will just be pointless.
Yeah, it will be disappointing where you're wanting to do something or want to go somewhere and money is holding you back. Yeah, agreed. Yes, and there you go. Ending our convo now, because we have been talking for a good amount of time. Is there any fun stories you want to share from your exchange program or the work exchange that you've been doing now, like all this traveling? Is there anything like super funny that you want to share?
I mean, about the household, like the house we have here.
It's a whole joke.
It's a joke, yes. And like some kids.
It's so funny. Here. I'm gonna miss this house. I tell you, I'm gonna miss this house. I like it, but it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how humans get used to craziness. Yes. Because it is not a proper living, but I got so used to it, and now I have my own room.
It's
I feel like
we're affectionate.
I love this room. I love my feel. I don't want to go. Yes. I want to go, but
yes, exactly. I want to go, but I don't want to go.
Yeah.
And me and a friend of mine who came here with me, we were just it was cold, so we were just laying in bed with our hair dryer on, just like this. But some kids were partying downstairs in this house, so we just experienced the difference between like 23 years old and 18 years old, and we really laughed a lot about all this house. There were a lot of stories about this house, a lot of moments.
Yeah, just so you understand, below where we live, there's like a whole area that they created, like an entertainment center kind of thing for whoever lives here or whoever rents like the other house, or people from the kayak store. There's a kayak store here too. There's everything in this building. Yes. There's a kayak store, game area, the house itself, like a wooden
you can find everything
stuff. It's just insane. Yeah, I also agree. Like the house is the funniest thing like I've had around here, apart from crazy travels, meeting people that you don't know and just go travel with, things like that.
Random people.
Yeah, let's travel together. Yeah, I don't know you. Let's.
That's the best part.
It's like amazing. Great. And what would be your final advice for those really wanting to do a work exchange? Really, what would be your final words?
I would say my advice would be to not rush into like, yeah, I want to do this. No, I don't ask questions, blah, blah, blah. But also to like follow what you want to do and like don't be scared, because it will have positive sides, like 100%. It doesn't matter, like it will have positive sides. And choose a place you really want to go to, so that you have other in mind apart from the job itself also, because that's very important.
Great.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Just do it.
Just
Yes.
do it. Amazing. Thank you so much for all your
Thank you.
sharings.
It's
I will definitely invite you more times, because it's just so great to talk. I could talk like for hours and hours here, to be honest.
Now I have to
It's
do
just-
other work exchange so that you can call me other times.
Yes, yes, for sure. But thank you so much for coming to Mundo Gringo.
Thank
The world is
you.
yours, and I will miss you so much from really soon.
Yes, we can say that.
Yeah, no. But that's it, guys.
Has been a
Muito
pleasure.
obrigada. Muito obrigada por tudo. Beijos e até a próxima. Tchau, tchau. Yes.